and welcome to DM Talks. Today I'm gonna do a short video on how to study chess. There was a comment in one of my later video with very good critique that I actually didn't explain the concept very thoroughly, and definitely not good so that you could use them in your own play. The thing is, chess is hard. I'm sorry, there's no, you want to have a shortcut, you want to have an easy way. The thing is, it's really hard, and what most people do is they watch a lot of chess and then they hope somehow some of the concepts and ideas and things like that, analyzing variations and so on, they sort of land on the right shelf in their brain. But it's more luck than so how should you study chess? Well, the first thing, the bad news for something like DM Talks is that videos are not really good at teaching you chess. What's the problem with videos? The problem is you're not active. So if you really want to have the sort of the full benefit of your chess training, you have to be active 70% of the time. 70% of the time. So how can you be that with video? Well, you have to stop, you have to think, you have to try to grasp it, try to guess the next move. You have to stay active all the time. Just sitting and watching will not teach you much. It's only when you sort of apply the concept and it takes time and it takes a lot of effort, but you have to be active. So 70% of the time you should be active. That's also why, for instance, using books like the woodpecker method and things like that are pretty good, because you have to think, you have to use you have to sort of grasp the concept and use them actually yourself. It's the same with all kind of teaching. You have to stay active. So how can you stay active here? Let's try and see. I have a short game here from the Kronborg tournament in May, which I won. I'm black against Ralf Akesson, our old Swedish grandmaster, former European champion. I played him, I think 5 times or something. I think I've got +3 or something. I never lost. I think he has sort of a lack of sense of danger. That's my impression of him. He has very nice, good, fluent positional style, but he somehow doesn't realize when things are getting dangerous. So he doesn't really think about how to play. C4 surprised me. I was sure he'd been playing Nd3 and D4 almost exclusively, and it's sort of messed up the way I want to play. And here I decided, okay, but I had a backup. I've been looking at this Maroxy setup. So we're gonna see here E4, knight C6, and bishop E3, and queen B6. Very popular. A little bit annoying for white. Black is disturbing white's position. Of course, attacking the knight and attacking the pawn. The most natural move is, of course, knight B3, queen D8. Maybe I am proposing a repetition of moves, and maybe not. He was not interested in that, and we have an F3. The thing is, if you just go knight C3 with a natural move, then knight D4 is annoying. One thing to notice in this position is that usually black is hoping this bishop down here. This bishop will be bad. For instance, if only that bishop is back against is left with against, for instance, a knight, then black usually has a big advantage on the black squares and can put a knight here with support of a pawn and so on, and the bishop just walks around like a lost soul, cannot do anything. So that's what black is hoping. But of course, white has more space with the pawns here and so on. But of course, this is white's good bishop. Even though I wouldn't mind exchanging it for this guy, but of course, if I could get it with a knight, I would love to do that. So he prevents that with F3. A5. I thought that was the idea of the whole setup, but apparently the computer really don't like it. It says you have to go D6 and say that, okay, white has played these moves which are not completely maybe the best way to play anyway, and I just kept pushing, and here he should probably go here. The computer sees nothing wrong with that, but okay, he went here, natural move, castle, knight db5. Very important point, and you should pause the video and think about this. In general, it's a general rule in the Maroczy, it's an advantage for white to have all 4 minor pieces on the board. All 4 minor pieces. I almost lost you there, right? Anyway, so all 4 minor pieces. Why is that? Because white has more space. And with more space, this means with many more pieces, this will not be easily bad as usual. So white, that's also why white plays this move, also preventing anything from happening here, and on hoping to control the position. D6, natural move, getting ready to get the bishop out. Rook c1. White is not is sort of being ready to do this. He's playing very prophylactically, makes a lot of sense. Queen a5, not sure the best move. I think the best move is probably this, and then queen a5 and so on. Because after this move, white immediately play knight d5, attacking the queen and threatening this stuff and so on, and I have to exchange. I thought that would always be fine for me, but it's not that clear. And knight d7, threatening this pawn here, and of course I would like to have this knight coming here with excellent control over the white squares, and then maybe f5. So that's basically my plan, and you can see that if white is not careful, black can have a tremendous initiative. At the same time, you can see these knights are pretty dominated, so that's also annoying. Now, anyway, the natural move is king c2, preventing anything from happening here on b2, and we see this knight would love to jump in and give a check, but can't do that. So knight c5, natural move, getting this ready and getting ready for f5, which I would love to play and get this bishop in here. If that bishop comes in with check, then he's toast. So that's the dream. Of course, it's a distant dream. Bishop e2 is probably not the best move. He should probably play knight b6 and get rid of the bishop pretty fast, actually, and before he does this. f5, okay, natural move, getting all my pieces are active, and I was hoping, and I sense that Akesson, he's not really, he doesn't like to be attacked, and he's not a great defender in my opinion. He sort of he underestimates dynamic play. So I was hoping, I was very optimistic. Knight b6 is of course the annoying move, and here I sort of went crazy. After something like this, the position is rather equal. Black, if white is to take one of these things, then black will get very good compensation on the black squares. All my pieces will be active. You should stop the video and take a look at what happens after rook a b8. That would make sense, just to get rid. But instead, I gave a check. Okay, here comes the king. It has to move, right? And he went here, and I took here, which is really crazy. The idea, just sacrificing the rook. The idea is, of course, to take here, give a check, get my knight back, put knight b3, and put him in mate. And again, you should pause the video and take a look at what happens if he does something idiotic, stupid. Anyway, he took back here, which was a bit annoying. I took with the knight here and ready for bishop f5, and hopefully something. And he played a3, which is a good move. I played bishop f5, and now I'm threatening mate in 2 moves. And again, you should pause the video and take a look what's going on here. Unfortunately, he could just play king a1. Okay, so knight d2 is not coming with check, and he's threatening to take this one, and he's also threatening to take this one. So basically, I lost the exchange here. But it's not completely hopeless. I have a lot of positional compensation, and I did get a pawn, so I was not really worried yet. Take and B94. This was a mistake, but I played bishop d7, offering a draw, and he took the draw. He was scared, I think, which is reasonable. I have bishops, I have knights, and so on. A lot of bad things can happen, and I have spent a lot of time trying to find a forced win. I was probably way too optimistic during the game. Anyway, knight d4. Here, black has a good option. He can play this move, which is something you never look at somehow. And after this comes this move, and it's a little bit annoying for white here. I think anyway. So this was a little bit interesting. I think, is this true? I don't know. Maybe. The computer says something like this. Anyway, after bishop d7, it was a draw. I think white will have to play very well here to win. But he should be better with the exchange up. I was never really worried, but I was a little bit disappointed that my surprise weapon, queen b6, I think Nakamura's play this didn't turn out better, and also I got 150 rating points more than Akesson, so I thought I should win, but that's how it goes. Anyway, what you should take away from this video is that you should pause the videos if you're watching videos. It's too lazy just to sit back and enjoy the show, even though, of course, it feels nice and it feels like you're doing something with your chess. It's not enough. It will not bring you where you want to go. You have to be active. Being active means actively working. Also, if there are, for instance, the opening here, let's say, I would here, after this move, if you're going to learn something about this opening, which can come from e4 or c4 and so on, and if you can play this with black, you have a big repertoire already, because this can come in many forms. So you should open Lichess or chess.com and look this position up, or if you have ChessBase, you should try that with ChessBase. Anyway, this was GM Talks. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the critique. It was very, very spot on. That I didn't teach anything, actually. I was even though, of course, it's always painful when people have critique that is correct.